Welcome everyone to the RIS parallel session. My name is Francesca Girardi. I work as a RIS operations manager in EIT Manufacturing. You have been hearing in the previous session about the Regional Innovation Scheme and about few of the activities of the RIS pillar. And now we would like to go deeper on the importance of the RIS countries in enhancing the innovation capacity of the European ecosystem. So in order to open this session, I would like to give the floor to the EIT Manufacturing Regional Innovation Scheme and EU Affairs Director, Konstantinos Georgoulias.
Thank you, Francesca. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us in this very interesting, we believe, session about the Regional Innovation Scheme and how EIT Manufacturing approach EIT RIS. You will hear what we are in general doing up to now, but also we will discuss with our panelists about the future of the program and the importance that the EIT RIS scheme has for European manufacturing in general. We will also have an important keynote speech from Mr. Gintaras Vilda. Coming back to the title of our session, RIS countries as game changers, bringing innovation from RIS to Europe. We selected this title because we want to highlight the innovation potential that is available in EIT RIS countries. Although these countries, and that's why they are eligible for EIT RIS, they are considered moderate or modest innovators according to the European Innovation Scoreboard. Actually, the majority of EU member states are moderate or modest innovators. We have seen and we are certain that there is a lot of innovation potential in EIT RIS countries. So with our activities and with our program, what we want to do is to help this innovation potential to be exploited, to be deployed, to grow and to mature and find its way to the European market and to the global market. We are firm believers of that. We have seen it. We are seeing it in the RIS activities that we are deploying that several times are success stories for EIT Manufacturing. And that's something that we want to highlight and actually help this innovation potential to really flourish in the future. So that was a very brief introduction from me regarding this session and looking forward to interesting discussions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Konstantinos. I think you set the scene quite well. So now with us, in order to open the discussions and to touch upon many of the points that also Konstantinos presented in his speech, we are honored to have as a keynote speaker Mr. Gintaras Vilda, CEO of the Manufacturing Innovation Valley. Mr. Vilda is an engineer, a prophet of manufacturing innovation, and an international innovation expert of the Lithuanian Confederation of Industrialists. He's also among the pioneers of the movement 4.0, Industry 4.0 in Lithuania, and a member of the coordination working group of the platform Industry 4.0. As a former vice minister of the economy and innovation, in Lithuania, he implemented the first stage of the innovation reform of the Lithuanian STI ecosystem in 2018 and 2019. He was a director of the Lithuanian Association of Engineering of Technology in Industry, LIMPRA, chairman of PI Intech Centras, and coordinator of the Lithuanian Plastics Cluster. For several years, he was active in Orgalim, representing European technology industry, the Council of European Employers of the Metal, Engineers, and Technology-Based Industry, CEMET, and thus he has accumulated extensive experience of international representation. So with all this knowledge and experience, we are honored to have you here, Mr. Vilda, to open our parallel session on RIS and how to bring innovation from RIS to the rest of Europe. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Francesca. Thank you for such a brilliant introduction of me. Thank you, Konstantinos, for starting our session. So I will trying to share my screen. Yeah, I hope you see my screen, and I hope you see my screen, and I will start my presentation. Does it work properly, Francesca?
Yes, it does.
Okay, thank you very much. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this opportunity to present how the IT manufacturing KIC and its REACH scheme cooperate and create synergy with the innovation ecosystem of Lithuania. Yeah, actually, as it was done by Francesca, she actually introduced me, so I will skip off my introduction and I will proceed with the information about the Lithuania and how the Lithuania could offer for the ecosystems of EU this valuable input. So Lithuania has a lot to offer for innovators, and Lithuania is a good spot to start and develop your business. Actually, Lithuania is the largest economy in the Baltic states, and 20% of Lithuanian total value added is generated by manufacturing. We actually recognized globally as the country which is easy of starting business. Lithuania ICT infrastructure is EU leading, and Lithuania is ranked fifth globally for fulfilling business need for ICT. In addition, 5G was launched at the end of 2018, and it's remained a high priority today. And talking about the startups, which is really important for the implementation of this scheme, the Lithuania is the number of startups in Lithuania is rapidly increasing. Recently, Lithuania startup ecosystem went through many positive developments, and today we have more than 1,000 startups in Lithuania. The number actually was doubled in 2 years. According to the Manufacturing Risk Index report, Lithuania is ranked as the second most attractive location in the world for manufacturing investors in 2020. And that's why we are actually number 11 in the world for ease of doing businesses. But nevertheless, Lithuania is still moderate innovator. According to European Innovation Score Report 2020, 5 member states' performance in innovation was improved by at least 20 percentage points, and Lithuania is among those 5 countries. For Lithuania, actually, performance were improved very strongly, almost by 28 points. And the linkages, digitization and innovators are the Lithuanian strength. Commercialization income from new products in business sector reached 6.6 billion euros in 2016, and it was 3 times more compared to the data of 2010. Unfortunately, in public sector, the science institutions, return of investment is significantly lower. So we definitely need to improve our activities in the field of cooperation between science and businesses by creating better services of experimental development and technology diffusion of our science institutions, and help our innovators to get more sophisticated services from universities and FPOs. Now about the IT scheme in Lithuania. During the implementation of the IT scheme in Lithuania, 2 startups, 20 businesses, educational institutions and organizations were involved in the project. It is worth to mention that participation in joint projects brings not only direct benefits such as specific project results created, for example, training materials, various platforms, simulation programs, innovative digitization solutions, or expert consultations, but also it provides indirect benefits, contacts with other partners, exchange of experience, introduction to the value chains of EU, understanding of the latest trends, innovations and solutions. Because of coordinator of RISCHEM in Lithuania, the Engineering and Technology Industry Association, LIMPRA, Lithuanian companies, educational and research institutions, have great opportunity to join consortia with European business leaders and cooperate with educational institutions and research institutes in many European countries. For example, project democratization of cobalt technology was initiated responding to the manufacturing challenges of using cobalts. Technology is quite new, and technology is actually prepared for hybrid automation. So the motivation for the project was to reduce the lack of knowledge about this new technology and to increase the acceptance and diffusion of the technology as a tool in manufacturing, especially in these countries. The project proposed a solution, and this solution was one-day workshop to engage and teach non-professionals how to deploy the technology. But the result, I think it's perfect result, 12 workshops conducted in 6 RISC countries with more than 130 participants. Talking about another one project, RISC Industry 4.0 Hubs, the project actually was designed to assist manufacturing SMEs and startups from these countries in their digital transformation in post-crisis transition. The consortia proposed 3 steps for Industry 4.0 to foster SMEs and startups' involvement in digital transformation. Seminars proceed by an open call for applicants were organized in 6 RISC countries. It's Estonia, Lithuania, Greece, Poland, Slovakia, and Czech Republic. The last stage of the project focused on individual consultations and digitization plans for the selected companies. And the result, 15 SMEs from these countries received consultation, and 5 Lithuanian manufacturing SMEs submitted an applications. Another success story of EIT manufacturing RISCHEM was the story of Lithuanian company Baltlet. Baltlet, during the pandemic crisis, dropped its sales and company almost stopped R&D investment, but focused on keeping their employees. The company started searching for EU funding opportunities. As a result, Baltlet was one of 6 companies with the joint forces in order to create an ecosystem of manufacturing innovation value for industry. By doing our daily activities and providing services for the companies, and also via our thematic seminars, we seek synergy between different European innovation ecosystems, such as Manufacturing Geek or Made in Europe partnership led by EFRA, or other RTOs and universities. This helped for SMEs to expand and enter other markets, develop products for EU value chains, create new business opportunities, or help companies to create new ones and commercialize previous innovation experiments or pilot projects. Our experts are involved also in the initiative of Interino LT, which is led by Lithuanian Innovation Agency and implemented together with Lithuanian Innovation Center and the Confederation of Industrialists of Lithuania. And that was a great example of how national and international initiatives such as EIT, Manufacturing RISC, create synergies. Because as TIC, we help our companies build and use their R&D potential, and that allowed them to be more prepared to participate in the Horizon Europe program. Because of the synergies with EIT RISC coordinator LIMPRA, we help for the Baltlet to understand and to understand the rules of participation in international knowledge and innovation communities, to evaluate its R&D potential, to prepare the strategy for R&D potential in implementation, and to provide insights and recommendations for the potential value proposition for the potential partners. As the result, Balt LED applied to AT Manufacturing KIC call and became one of 8 companies that won AT Manufacturing funding for AT Crisis Response Initiative. The main idea and purpose of this measure was to encourage companies to develop innovative solutions that reduce the impact of COVID-19 or accelerate digitization. AT Manufacturing to this call received more than 50 applications from 25 countries. And from our perspective, this success story of Balt LED is a really great success story. Now shortly about the national initiative which strongly support the AT Manufacturing KIC scheme, Manufacturing Innovation Valley. Valley is a digital innovation hub based in Lithuanian capital Vilnius. It works as an enterprise cluster whose main activity is to provide innovation support and consultancy services for SMEs that implement and develop new technologies, products, and processes needed for digitization. Member companies of Manu Valley operate on the basis of the partnership and cooperation agreement, and I am proud that the Manufacturing Innovation Valley became the first base in the Baltic states with the 50 of services specifically prepared for manufacturing company. In general, we help our clients to understand and apply a variety of technologies and innovations to their businesses. That's why our innovation consultancy and support services, equipment and infrastructure is accessible for small and medium-sized manufacturing companies, startups, individual researchers, and research institutions. We know what manufacturers need. Also, because of participation in different European technology platforms and associations such as EFRA, we as Manu Valley became as a one-stop shop for companies in manufacturing industry in Baltic states, and via seminars, training, and consultancy services, we provide the newest trends to Lithuanian factories. Important to know that the equipment needed for manufacturers will be available not only in Vilnius, but also in the Kaunas, the second largest industrial city of the country, in premises of our partner, well-known technology company Elinta. Elinta's R&D factory is in Kaunas Free Economical Zone, where many industrial companies there is located. For customers, together with our services, Manu Valley provides such as consultations, prototyping, business incubation and acceleration, the showroom and prototyping lab with the latest industrial infrastructure will be accessible. Manufacturing Innovation Valley provides for the companies and for the members of Lithuanian Manufacturing KIC scheme community different type of services. For example, we are providing seminars, trainings. We are actually demonstrate the latest technologies, trends. We are demonstrate latest technology infrastructure. We give access to the services of other digital innovation hubs in Lithuania and in the EU. And what is also really important to mention, that we provide state support up to 50% for the consultations and proof of concept activities. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear members of EAT communities, I gave you a short overview of how we are making EAT Manufacturing KIC scheme really practical and useful for the Lithuanian manufacturing companies. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for organizers inviting me, and let's shape our factories together. If someone has any questions, I will be more than happy to answer them. Thank you very much.
Gintaras, thank you so much for this presentation. I would like to highlight here that you mentioned a lot of success stories, but I have to say that when you were in the position in the office, in the Ministry of Economy and Innovation, your support back then to the Lithuanian manufacturing ecosystem for joining VAT manufacturing, the foresight that you showed then and your vision was actually, let's say, perhaps the very, very first and very, very important factor in order to have all these successes. So this is, let's say, a credit that we should recognize. Thank you very much for your speech and your contribution, and we're looking forward to do even more in the Lithuanian manufacturing ecosystem.
Thanks, Konstantinas. Thanks.
Jessica, you may continue.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Vilda, for taking the time to be with us today and showing us the importance of the synergies, creating synergies between different European and innovation ecosystems. So I have one question for you. What is it, in your opinion, the main factors that makes the difference for a RIS innovative solution to be successful and to reach the European market?
You know, from my perspective, I think that the RIS scheme is really important for member states such as Lithuania is. Because, for example, after the evaluation report of the Horizon 2020 programs, we will find that such countries as Lithuania is the newcomers of European Commission, of European Union, sorry. Actually, we have really small amount of the participation in the Horizon Europe, Horizon 2020 program at that time. And from my perspective, I believe that such initiative as we have Interino LT, for example, in Lithuania, where the innovation agency, our the Lithuanian Innovation Center and Confederation of Industrialists participate, that provides some kind of national support for the companies in order to cooperate with the knowledge innovation communities, not only as a manufacturing kick, as a manufacturing community, but also with such communities like, for example, health or food or digital or energy. So for all those communities, actually, the consultancy services which we provide here nationally is really important, because, you know, the understanding of the rules, how to participate is one key element. Another one key element, understanding how to provide the value proposition for potential partners and how to cooperate with them in order to get good results during the implementation of the projects. So I believe that it is most important consultations.
Thank you very much for your answer. I totally agree, and this is why we are here to speak with you and to involve you in our programs. I think that's the importance here, to share the knowledge of the local ecosystem to the European one. So now we will open the panel discussion, and indeed we have with us 4 representatives of 4 different countries. So first we have Ana Cristina Barros from Portugal. She is a senior researcher at Inestec in the field of operations, supply chain, and technology management. At Inestec, Ana has participated in several European projects and initiatives related to the creation of the European Digital Innovation Hubs. She has also coordinated the participation of INESTEC in several research projects in collaboration with other universities in Portugal and developing consultancy services in the area of technology management and Industry 4.0. Currently, Ana is the EIT Manufacturing Program Manager at INESTEC and coordinator of the EIT Manufacturing RISAB Portugal. So welcome, Ana.
Thank you, Francesca.
We have with us also Dr. Alexios Papacharoulampopoulos from Greece. He owns a diploma in electrical and computer engineering and a PhD in engineering of the Department of Mechanical Engineering and Aeronautics of the University of Patras. He has been a research associate for the Laboratory of Manufacturing System and Automation, LMS. He has been involved in many RTD projects funded by the European Commission, acting as senior manufacturing processes, senior researcher and technical manager. His main research interests are focused in the field of conventional and non-conventional manufacturing processes and digital twinning, modeling and control. So welcome, Alexios.
Thank you. Hello from my side.
We have also with us Balázs Barta, who graduated at the University of Economics in Budapest and worked at multinational companies for almost a decade in various senior management positions. He established Pannon Business Network in 2006, involving 10 regional institutions and clusters. PBN is focused on applied research and development and training of companies. In 2016, he established its Digital Innovation Hub with on-house engineering team and infrastructure. Competencies cover robotics, data science, extended reality, and 3D technologies. In January 2021, PBN was awarded the Best Digital Innovation Hub in Europe. And for 2 years now, PBN is a dedicated member of the EIT community and also EIT Manufacturing Hub in Hungary. Welcome, Balázs.
Thank you so much, Francesca.
And last but not least, we have Damit Kurkas. He's a PhD assistant and researcher at the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering of the University of Ljubljana in Slovenia. He's working in the Department of Management of Manufacturing Technology, mainly focusing on sustainable development of machining processes and quality assurance in machining processes. Together with the support of the department, he's present in the development of the system ArcLoop-1, with which he has been involved in several EIT manufacturing programs. So thank you very much all for being here with me and with us today and to bring your experience and knowledge to our panel and to our, let's say, thematic on how to bring RIS innovation to the rest of Europe and to the European market. So I would like to start off with a question for my panel. So what is, in your opinion, Ana, let's start with you. What is your opinion, the role that RIS countries can play in the enhancement of the innovation capacity of Europe as a whole? How important are they for enhancing the European innovation capacity as a whole?
Thank you, Wo, and thank you, Francesca, for the question. So I believe that the biggest role is regards with the fact that most RIS countries have in the past years invested a lot on education. So we have a lot of very highly qualified people coming out of the universities in these RIS countries, which is the first step. And then when they reach the market, we don't have these big factories or these highly developed manufacturing industries as in other European countries. So what happens is that these highly qualified people, because we live in a very connected world, start putting their technologies and at service for startups, and they are not afraid to start global. just to start their operations in a global sphere. So, and I think this is the main factor that risk countries can contribute to innovation in Europe, is to have these highly qualified people working on technology innovations and bringing them to the market through startups. And of course, EIT manufacturing is the ideal space for this, because they have all the connections needed and the trust among the partners to do their first demonstrations and get their first clients.
Thank you very much. We're happy to hear that EIT Manufacturing is supporting you in this and supporting the Portuguese ecosystem in this, but also the risks in general. Alexios, what is your take on this? What is the role that risk countries can play?
I'll start by saying that I agree completely with Anna. It's there are a lot of skilled people in all aspects of integration, absorption. You see, I think the problem is the issue. It's not the problem. The issue has to do with the fact that there is no matching between the need and the capacity. So a long chain of steps that have to be taken in order for innovation to be absorbed. For each one of them, we need specific skills from people, because it's not just the technical or the business or the economic or the social aspects of each state. It's also the fact that innovation is multidisciplinary, requires multidisciplinary sort of speaking information. So there has to be the right combination of people and skills in order to promote that at different readiness levels. So yes, I agree that it's the term emerging innovation is more appropriate nowadays, because in all of the risk countries, there are good universities, there are startups, there are SMEs, and there is even industry which is keeping up with the rest of the Europe. It's just that yet it's not the desired degree of absorption of technology or innovation, whatever you may want to call it.
Okay, thank you very much. I see an alignment here between our two panelists. Let's see if we continue like this. Balázs.
I was just thinking, because when I listened to Ginta's presentation, it was extremely inspiring, and a big congratulations to him. On the other hand, and don't misinterpret, please, Gintaras, when I say but in our region, we have this moderate innovation status, as you also referred to. We have lots of population. And for example, if I can speak only on behalf of Hungary, but we do not have university in the top 500. So we may have the impression that we are performing good, but when we make on an international competition, then we don't have such advantages. And then we have people like Gintaras, who are like a light tower. They are fighting, they are accumulating something, they are creating knowledge, and sometimes it's a lonely fight. And it's very important that EIT is capable of connecting these points and making some kind of economies of scale by exploiting synergies among them. And this is what I find very, very crucial, to have this kind of entry point for talents, that they can get some support in generating the knowledge and then creating some value that they can enter on the European scale. That's it.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it was a very important point. I would go back to Damir, and I think he will have maybe a slightly different point of view, since he was part of our programs, and maybe he can say something how we match it.
Yeah, thank you. Being the last in a row to answer that, I had a time for think about, but I agree with my previous colleagues about that topic, and I think that if you look individually, there is not big difference between innovators in some other countries than in risk countries. The innovations are good, mainly only the road, how to put it on the market, is a little bit different. And that's why I agree with Balázs at the end. He said that the EIT plays here a really big role of connecting that into the together path in order to enhance the whole Europe as a platform of where these innovations come to the market. So I think that there are good innovations in every country, and there are good individuals, but just they have to have an opportunity to present that to the bigger platform.
And just a little follow-up question here, and I think you had, Damir, the opportunity to present your innovation to the bigger platform. So I think this was also how we as IT Manufacturing support ideas and teams. So did this help specifically in your case to develop your idea further, to reach the market? How did that go for you?
So as I said many times, I come from mechanical background. So what many innovators or many people who have idea to put it on the market maybe lack one of the part of what is needed to go to the market. There is not only technical aspect of it, it's as well a business aspect of it, and having the platform which can you offer that other part which you are probably missing. Now talking completely from my background is really good, and I think we should support that. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think also the fact that we're, as IT Manufacturing, we are focusing on our three, let's say, side of the knowledge triangle: innovation, business creation, and education as well, all under the RIS umbrella. We do that as well. So I think that's, in our opinion, that's how we work, and I think we think it's working. But what is, let's say, from your perspective, the most important thing for the RIS manufacturing ecosystem to continue its growth and development, focusing on maybe education, we heard it before, innovation, or business creation, or all three? I will go back to Anna.
So I remember Maria Graça de Carvalho said in the first day that actually IT is the first instrument in Europe that builds together the three pillars. And I believe it's also very unique, and it should be all three together. And I just want to give you an example. It was so funny because last week we have the doctoral winter school here in Porto, and they came to visit the Inestec Industry and the Innovation Lab. And it was so funny because one of the doctoral students, she was fascinated with one of the innovation project demonstration, which was about augmented reality, where you have your glasses and you can control augmented reality, what the robot does. And I mean, probably she would get to know this kind of innovation in other contexts, but just because she is in the in participating in this program that combines education with innovation, much faster she learns, or the students learn about the new technological innovation. So I think in that sense, we rapidly go ahead in in spreading the word, let's say, and getting faster to spread the technological innovations in the market.
I agree. That would be also very fascinating for me as not having a scientific background. So I would agree with this researcher doctoral students. Alexis, I know you also work a lot on teaching and learning factories in your work together with IT Manufacturing. So would you agree that this focus on education together with the innovation is key for the future of the manufacturing ecosystem?
Yes, it is related to this exchange of information, and not only information, but also skills. Because, for example, during a teaching factory, industry sets a problem which is practical and has many aspects, and we can even extend to the business aspects beyond the technical side. And academia tries to provide a solution. So on the one hand, there are the students who learn about the applicability, the feasibility or the financial sustainability of a solution. And on the other hand, there is the industry, which is learning or if not learning, they are accelerating their know-how intake. And both ends do this experientially, which is, I think, the core of the skill enhancement. It can be upskilling, it can be reskilling, or it could be just skilling. So yes, it can be related to all three aspects that you mentioned, Francesca, even for business creation, because the non-technical aspects many times are the ones that cannot be exceeded. So business creation has many secrets, has many key points where it's just about finding the right combination of information and people. So the servitalization, sort of speaking, in all these three areas is crucial, not for only for innovation absorption, but for growth in general, I would dare to say.
Yes, thank you for your opinion. I'd give the floor to Balázs to see if he's also thinking how to combine innovation, education, and business creation in Hungary, and how this could really enhance the ecosystem there.
Since Anna, Alexios, and Damir are very intelligent, I don't want to keep repeating what they've just said. I would like to put it in another context, that what we are struggling with in Hungary, and maybe it's also in other risk countries, that the international value chain is changing. So we are not a cheap labor manufacturing country anymore, which we used to be, because of digitalization, autonomous manufacturing, robotics, and so on. We lost that kind of competitive advantage or disadvantage what we had. And then that's one phenomenon. The other one is the nearshoring, that due to COVID and the unpredictable pandemic, companies moved back from Asia to Europe. So these are two controversial procedures and processes, and we have to take benefit of that in a very intelligent way. And what you just said about these three parameters, the innovation, education, business creation, it's essential for us that we use them wisely. As Alexios said, not focus on the technology, but on the human aspect and skills and application of the technology to be able to maintain a competitive advantage for a region, to be still attractive for the German manufacturing, for the Austrian manufacturing industry, and for all the others.
Absolutely, I think that is key, and it's also what AT Manufacturing is trying to work on to make this the European manufacturing industry more resilient. Also seeing the last developments, unfortunately, in the world. It's very interesting what you point out about companies coming back to Europe. I hope this would be also a new wave, continuing a new wave, and also for the creation of new business in Europe, as we've seen. Damir is an example of it. We supported him throughout his project development. I would like to go back to the question that I made to Gintaras Vilda after his speech, and I asked him what was the main factor that makes a difference for an innovative solution to be successful and reach the European market. And I would like to give the floor to Damir, which is, I think, our example of a representative of a startup that is trying to reach the market and is being successful.
That's a really good question, and I will be happy if I can say, okay, this is only one thing, and just use that, and you will come to the markets. Because it's if you look back, it looks easy, but if you look forward, it doesn't look easy. So what I think is the main factor that innovation can come to the European market is that first of all, you have to good innovation that solves something that a lot of people have problem with. So first you need to have like solution for that problem. And then the second thing, you need to find the right way to present them the solution to their problem. Because dealing with students now, because I'm an assistant, I have a lot of experience also that students can maybe have idea at the exercises how to improve something, but if the work stops there, there's nothing. So you need to have idea which you then further find the path to the market. So that's why I'll come back to my first question is you really need to find some institutions or someone to help you within that path. So you need to have a final vision. Okay, I hope to go to the market, and then you need to find, okay, what you are lacking of, and find someone who will help you with that, and then proceed towards the goal.
I see, and I hope Yeti Manufacturing is the right organization for helping RIS startups or SMEs in this. Anna.
So I agree with Damir, right? You have to have the right problem, but I think the other factor is about technology market fit, because the problem is that a lot of time startups, maybe they have a technology that they're ahead of the market. So the market is not ready for the technology, let's say, and they kind of have to create the market first or create awareness that the customers need their technology. So I think, and sometimes it's too late. So it's only a very small increment of innovation, and maybe the market doesn't see value in it. So I think one of the factors is finding this market technology or technology market fit. And that's why startups have so many business model cycles, and have to have the courage to change their business model several times till they find the one that will work and that have this technology market fit. So I would add that to what Damir just said.
Perfect. Support and finding the right support, finding the market fit. Balázs.
I don't want to waste your time. She was so smart. I have nothing to add.
Okay, so you agree with our previous panelists. Let's see, Alex.
Yes, it seems that the innovation, actually, we don't really know how to model it, meaning that it is rather an emerging property. So there are the readiness level, if we're talking about technology or a product, and then there is the so-called hype cycle that we don't even know if that is true. And in between there are those steps that Anna mentioned, and Damir can tell you about what happened in his case, but if you're trying to copy him, maybe you will fail. So there are a lot of necessary conditions for one to success, but I think there are no sufficient ones, meaning that will any measures to take that will guarantee innovation no matter what. And the fact that there is this risk categorization implies that there should be customization to with respect to what we can do when we're trying to provide the market with a solution successfully. That is.
Yeah, and we hope as Yeti Manufacturing, with our RIS program, we can support organizations, educational institutions, SMEs, startups in reaching their goals. So this is why we're here. I thank all my panelists for the great discussions and the insights and what is the role of the RIS countries and what the role they can play in really enhancing the innovation ecosystem of Europe as a whole. This is our objective, but also what we believe the RIS countries can do with their capacity. As we heard, it's increasingly changing and increasing importance of the risk countries. So looking forward to see what the future holds for us and for our program. So thank you for following our risk session. This is all from our side, and we will give back the floor to the following session. Thank you very much all.